Hi folks, this is Stan Wanglund, your adjunct professor from Psychology 223. That's Human Exceptionality, and it's January 21st, 2019, just for a little frame of reference for this U2 article. And man, it's freezing cold out here if you live in upstate New York like I do. I just came in and it's about 3,000 degrees Kelvin out there. Very, very cold. But it's nice seeing everybody. I'll be speaking to you directly in the course and interacting with you very shortly. And I'm thankful that you've chosen this particular course, and I hope we have a very nice time this semester together. I'm sure we will. I just wanted to go over a couple of quick things about the course so that you feel relaxed and have a good experience. The course is designed for success. I've been teaching for well over 20 years. I'm just recently retired from my regular job from New York State, which has been being a clinical psychologist, senior program administrator, and director of all kinds of programs in the state of New York. And I have 40 plus years experience. So I've kind of been around the block with every element of psychology that you'll come across in your courses, and in particular this course with Human Exceptionality. All of these populations of individuals I've worked with extensively. So I like to keep things nice and clear and crisp and meaningful for you. And I understand that this is an advanced course, but on an undergraduate level. So it's the information is going to be, you're going to have a lot of good information, but nothing is there to slay you and make you freak out and have a bad time in learning about these very interesting topics and very relevant topics. Okay, so there's 15 chapters in your text. They correspond to 15 modules in the course. And the course is really designed for success, and it's designed for you to basically go over one chapter a week. Okay? It's as simple as that. So each Monday, actually each Sunday night at midnight, which becomes Monday technically, at 12 a.m., the course and the module opens up. The course will always be open, but that module opens up, and there you go. You click on that module, which will be under the content section on the left side of your screen. On the scrolling bar over there, it'll have all the content and all the different messages and all the different features of things that you need to use to navigate the course. You go to that particular module, and what you're going to see is a short video, something under usually about 7 or 8 minutes, something with me in it. Why? Because I'm a big ham? No, because I want to speak to you directly on that particular topic. It's in, I think, 12 or 13 of the modules. There's a video with me in it there, and I take a few moments and explain some of the highlights of the course to you. And then the expectation is that you click in and go in there, and there's a lecture. There's a written lecture for you. It's only a short amount of material, but it's a synopsis version of things done very clearly of the chapter and some highlights that I want you to go over, that I want you to know about. Then the other thing that I want you to do is read your chapter, of course, which is usually somewhere between 20 and 25 pages. Nothing that you can't do by any stretch of the imagination. So you do that, and what are you going to have? You're going to go to something called your quiz. And each particular module or chapter has a 10-question quiz. So by the end of the semester, you'll have done 150 questions, 10 at a time, little small pieces, so you can be very successful. Now, since I'm a great believer in competency-based training, I want you to get the highest grade possible. So you can take those questions, you can take that quiz over and over and over and over and over and over again until you get tired of doing it or you get 100. You get to keep the highest score that you achieve. Okay? So if you got an 80 and an 85, or they're actually in 10-point intervals, but if you have a 70 and an 80 and a 90 and you want 100, well, take it a fourth time. Now, it's not the same series of questions. You might see a question repeat itself, or 2 or even 3 of them, but you won't get the identical 10 over and over again. So the good thing is if you take the test multiple times, you can get 100. And the good thing about that is if you take it multiple times, and some people don't, they get 100, right off the bat. The more you play with the information in the course, the more you learn. So it's a win-win. Get it? Competency-based. Nobody loses. You get a good grade. I get to know that you've been playing in the course. Okay? The next thing that's required for each one of the modules is a discussion question. And the discussion question is a question that's kind of open-ended. It's a thought-provoking thing. They start off a little simpler in the beginning and get a little bit more complex as we go on, but nothing that you can't do at all. It's all designed not for a right answer, but for you to put on your critical thinking cap and use your critical thinking writing skills, okay? Now here's a tip. That post for that discussion question is actually one main post and 2 peer responses. That main post is not an op-ed piece. So for example, if I say, do you think everybody can learn? Do you think that regardless of intellectual or physical problems, right, everybody can learn? You know, if you're not doing the assignment in the way that I want you to do it, you're going to say, yes, I think everybody can learn. Everybody's a good person. Everybody has the potential to learn. No, no, and no, and no, and no. That's wonderful. That's a wonderful opinion. It's a wonderful sentiment. What supports that? This is what we want you to do. We don't want you to be Rudy Giuliani. No politics, okay? No, we don't want you to be somebody who's out there just spinning something and doesn't have any facts. You can use your personal observations. You can use the observations of others or other, things like that. But you also need to cite sources and expert sources and use, get in the habit of using empirical information. What does the research say? What do other scientists say? What are some theories about that? Now, you don't have to write the Magna Carta. I'm not looking for that. The main post is supposed to be about 250, 300 words. It's supposed to be a thought-out response. And then 2 peer responses, the same thing. If peer responses are your equivalent of class participation. After you do your main response, you're going to look at other people's main responses and you're going to say whether you agree with them or not or what you want to add on to that. You're going to give a response, 2 different ones, 2 different people. And it's the same thing. I want you to use some critical thinking. I don't want you to say, yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Stan, right on. No, that's nothing. That doesn't show any analysis. It doesn't show any thinking. Now, what's the point of that? With the quizzes, I'm giving you those every week, so you get a lot of information and you get some depth and breadth of knowledge on that subject by digging around to get the answers for the questions. Now, for the discussion questions, now we're taking that information that you've gotten, having you start doing a little tiny drop of research into each little question, getting some, looking at some sites and looking at some sources, getting some expert information, some good supporting documentation, and you start to develop this habit of good critical thinking and some sound writing skills in small amounts each week, okay? Then we have a midterm, and then we have a final. And they're also written assignments. So your discussion questions teach you the writing skills and the expectations that are going to be needed for your midterm and your final. I use a grading rubric. You'll see what it is. It's 5 different areas that are outlined. It's very clear. You'll get the hang of it very easily, and it kind of forces you to start thinking in a more organized way and writing in a more organized way. So this is the skill that you'll be learning. It's a very powerful skill. So again, this is not a creative writing class. This is not an op-ed class. It's really a class for you to not knock yourself out and be miserable. It's like whatever the topic is, you look at the stuff in the chapter, you think about it, see other responses, and then you do a little bit of research and come up with your answer. And your answer should, be thought out in an analytical, understandable manner, and presented as your post. Okay. So you'll get feedback every week from me. Everything you'll get feedback for. There's a grade center. You'll know exactly where you're at grade-wise. The way the course is designed is 25% of your grade is weighted for the quizzes. 25% of your grade is weighted for your discussion questions. 25% of your grade is weighted for your midterm, and 25% of your grade is weighted for your final. Okay? You'll have plenty of time to do that, and you'll have a wonderful success. My students have very high grades in the classes. Okay? Traditionally. It's not because I'm throwing you a softball, it's because I'm not harassing you. I want you to be competent in what you're doing. It's all carefully planned out. Now, if you have some kind of a problem, your computer blows up, you find yourself overwhelmed because you took other courses and you're running out of money, or you're fighting with your boyfriend, or your kids have the flu or something like that, that happens in life. I can't solve all those things for you. But on the other hand, I don't have to be cruel and ridiculous to you and just tell you to go tough it out. If you're having a particular problem, if you don't understand something, if you feel like you're over your head on something, or you just can't figure something out, how to plan your day or whatever it is, there's all kinds of resources that we have at the college to help you, starting with me. So you have to give me a call, and you can call me at the phone number that I'll give you. It's actually my personal cell. I can't put it on this tape because it'll be on YouTube. But you can get me immediately by using my personal email, and that's swanglund@gmail.com. And it's all in the course information for you, and I'll be sending you emails and stuff like that, repeating that over and over and over again. Okay, so you can call me. You're not bothering me. Okay, I love to teach. I'm not trying to infantilize you or look for problems. It's just that it's not a bother. That's my job. I work for you. I want to make sure you succeed with this. You should be signing into the course a minimum of 3 times a week. I would suggest 3 to 4 times a week, and that way, I send information to you routinely during the week. Just little videos, pieces of information, all kinds of things I send to you. And if you do that, then you'll be with things current and up to date. Now, I know how students are, and many times I might change something and say, this week, do the quiz, but you may not need to do a discussion question, and I'll give you the credit anyway, because I just, I think that you've had enough writing or whatever for a week. And then students will they'll hand in their assignment. So I know you haven't been reading the emails. You have to read the emails. You have to look at them and see if you want to delete something, if it's a video that you don't want to see, fine. Boom, then delete it. But look at the email. It's very important that you do that. Okay? Assignments are due, the general unit assignments, they all have a start and stop date that you'll see when you click onto the module in the course. Okay? And those are generally 1 week. In almost all cases, but you do have some break periods and things like that, or spring break, and it may be adjusted a day or so on one of them. So you get the idea with everything else. All of this will be repeated in written fashion, but I'll attach these as a mashup to an email to you, and it'll it should make you feel very good, and you can just copy, just look at it over and over again, and I hope you feel confident with things. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this video, and I'm going to send you another short video where we're going to look at the screen for Blackboard and just some things, so I make sure that you know what they are. Okay? All right. So again, it's nice meeting you. I'll have the course opened up a couple of days prior to the actual start of class, probably on Thursday or Friday. They don't like us to open it up too much earlier than that. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to give me a buzz. Okay? All right. So I'm going to come up here and shut this out, and this will be in an email with another video attached to it. Okay? So make sure you watch them.